Those bloody Chevs are absolute shit right now. Worst V8 Supercar ever. Come on, Trev, they're not that bad. Well, then name a worse model then. Name a worse one. The AU Falcon. How dare you? That's bloody blasphemy, Macca. Mate, it won like 15% of the races it entered. Like, facts. It had the best interior door handles in the business, Macca. It was bloody ergonomic. 22 pole positions. Couldn't even convert properly. Everyone was, distracted by the door handles. Those handles fit the hand like God owed Ford a favour. Nobody talks about... Trev. It was a shitbox. A complete and utter shitbox. Don't like my opinion? Well, let me explain it. In the post-roundup special investigative story time, the worst V8 Supercar of all time. Let's get into it. The AU Falcon. A car so beloved by Aussie car YouTubers that you'd think it's a cheat code to motorsport success. It wasn't. In Supercars, it was a 4-year psychological experiment that gave Holden the keys to the kingdom and Ford fans generational trauma. And here's the paradox. 22 pole positions from 52 rounds. That's like 40% of the time. The thing was fast. So why was it such a shitbox in the races? To understand that, we have to go back in time. 1997, 2 years before Darude Sandstorm. Off the back of the AU Falcon's sales and motorsport success, Ford Australia decided to build a successor and to defend the Blue Oval against the newly released mighty VT Commodore. Now, we actually don't have any footage or anything of the design process, but we do have our imagination, so... Alright team, we need a new Falcon. It needs curves, elegance, and it needs new edge, because that's our thing at Ford now. We're all new edge. New edge! Oh, I've been staring at a catfish and a croissant for 3 weeks, so can I just chuck some wheels on that? Why? Market research and stuff, designer things and new edge. The catfish croissant on wheels. Mate, that's bloody new edge. Let's bloody use it. Everyone will love it.
Ford has unveiled its latest weapon in its battle to regain market leadership. The company is banking on the AU Falcon boosting sales both at home and abroad.
The Homer.
The new edge philosophy of design by Ford was meant to look futuristic. It was meant to look new edge. New edge! Instead, it looked like the future had been left in the sun. While it was aerodynamic, it also generated a lot of lift. In contrast, the VT Commodore was a bit of a brick, but at least it was a stable brick. The AU had this whole teardrop roofline, soft nose, weird rear, and aero that behaved like it owed money. As the air hit it, it kind of just panicked and left. And while that gave good fuel economy and all that jazz, it meant that it was very unstable at high speed. Now they've released the road car, but now they have to somehow turn this car into a race car. Now, obviously, we don't have any footage of how they turn it into a race car, but we imagine it would be something like this. Alright, we've got the perfect bloody road car. Now we need to build the perfect bloody race car. You need it to be a new edge race car. New edge. Mate, those headlights act like bloody parachutes. We should bloody change them right now. No, new edge. New edge. The rear loses downforce and it's fundamentally new edge. When Ford introduced the AU Falcon V8 Supercar to the public, it was pretty clear that drivers wouldn't be chasing championships. They'd be negotiating with physics. This thing handled like it had a personal vendetta against corners. Touch the setup slightly wrong, and the balance vanished. It was incredibly sensitive. Like your paycheck on a Friday night, just 2 beers and it's gone somehow. One session it would look like an absolute weapon, and then the wind changes and suddenly it looks like the rear tyres have filed for divorce. And they didn't just stop there, Ford was spending massive money at the time. They even managed to coax Craig Lowndes to go from the mighty HRT in their peak dominance era to join a one-car Ford team. And that definitely wasn't controversial or anything. I'm pretty sure everyone was quite civil about it, especially the fans. Now, here's the stupidest part. The AU Falcon wasn't slow. Between 1999 and 2002, it had 8 wins from 52 rounds, which is like 15% or something. Which isn't great, but also, it had 22 pole positions, 46 fastest laps. That's not a slow car, that's a cursed car. 1 lap, it's an absolute weapon. The full race, it's pretty much just an emotional support vehicle. This thing qualified like a caffeinated greyhound on meth, and then immediately forgot how to race. In desperation, Ford started throwing updates at this car like a bloke trying to fix a roof with chewing gum. Now, we actually don't have any footage of Ford trying to fix this, but I imagine it was something like this. Alright, Holden's kicking our ass at the moment, so how are we going to bloody fix it? Or we could like improve the aero package, that would be good. Mate, it's too bloody expensive. Or we could redesign the bodywork. The design is perfect, you can't spell beautiful without AU. Well, we could just chuck like a VT looking bumper on it and hide the shame. Mate, that's bloody brilliant, we'll just put a mask on the fish, no one will know. They will absolutely know, but at least the door handles are good. Yeah, no, they're good, mate, yeah, they're pretty good, yeah. So, how did the updates go? Well, they're about as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle. The sheer dominance of Scaping HRT stroked fear into the hearts of Ford fans. Something needed to change, and urgently. 2003. 4 years after Darude Sandstorm.
Key element in the technical alignment of the VA Falcon and VY Commodore under Project Blueprint is aerodynamic performance.
V8 Supercars introduces the Project Blueprint regulations. Ford says sayonara to the AU Falcon, well apart from Larko who decides to be an absolute battler for another year, and hello to the now legendary BA Falcon. And suddenly, it's magic, the car works, the rear plants, the aero balance all behaves, and drivers stop white-knuckling it through corners and actually winning races and being competitive consistently. I mean, Marcus Ambrose went on to win the 2003 championship, which is the first since 1997. Ford again won in 2004, won again in 2005, and then won again in 2007. Maybe don't mention that, yeah. Boo! Rick Kelly boys, boo! Boo! Trev, LHV bias, boo. It was bloody 20 years ago now, alright? Just stop holding on to so much hate. So, what did we learn today? The AU Falcon wasn't the worst because it was slow. It was worse than slow. It was fast enough to give you hope and flawed enough to destroy it. Every single race. It qualified like a hero, but it raced like it had an existential fear of corners. And yes, Trev, the door handles were good, but in V8 Supercars, it is officially the worst V8 Supercar of all time. I'm Macca, and this is Post Round Dump. Give it a like, give it a follow us on socials, we do a lot of shit on there, and send it to your mate who still defends the AU Falcon, and finally shut him up. I'm going to leave some great little articles in the description on the YouTube video here if you want to read it further, or if you're someone who's like, no, you're wrong, fucking parody, blueprint, There's a whole plethora of articles in the description that you can read. Use your brain, buddy. You can do this. Anyway, piss off. We'll see you at the next dump. Check on your mates. See you later.
The big guns come out.
Fucking V8s, mate.
Can't start it up.
Fucking V8s, mate.